All right, so we're going to start reading, okay? All right, so again, remember that the fundamental difference between Dante and Virgil is that Virgil is ultimately skeptical about human nature, whereas Dante is optimistic. Okay, so we're first going to figure out what Virgil's argument is. Okay, so Ivory, can you read, please?
And even as I turned toward him, I asked, what did the spirit of Romagna mean when he said, sharing cannot have a part? And his reply, he knows the harm that lies in his worst vice. If he chastises it, to ease his expiation, do not wonder. For when your longings center on things such as sharing, then portions less to each, then envy stirs the bellows of your sighs. But if the love within the highest sphere should turn your longings heavenward, the fear inhabiting your breast would disappear. For there, the more there are who would say ours, so much the greater is the good possessed by each, so much more love burns in that cloister.
Okay, stop. Okay, all right. So, they are in the terrace of envy. And here, people must expiate themselves of their envy of others. And envy comes from misguidance, okay? People are focused on the material world. And in the material world, things are finite, right? So we struggle over food, over water, over wealth. But if we focus on the spiritual world, if we focus on God, okay, the spiritual, then resources are infinite, okay? And in the spiritual world, the more you share with others, the more wealth is created, okay? Because you're uplifting each other's spirit. So that's the difference between the material world and the spiritual world, where in the material world, sharing can be punished because it's a zero-sum game. If someone has an apple, you don't have it. If you have that apple, someone else doesn't have it. But in the spiritual world, which focuses on love, generosity, forgiveness, the more you love, the more generous you are, the more generosity it creates in the world, right? If you smile at someone, that other person smiles back at you. If you're kind to that person is kind to others, right? So that is the misconception. That's why people have envy, because they are ignorant of the nature of the universe. Envy is too much of a focus on the material world, and to expiate yourself of envy, you must focus on the spiritual world. Okay? So here, Virgil and Dante do not disagree. Keep on going.